I can really go into my soda intake. If I were to have a pile of all the 2-liter sodas that I, went to the supermarket and bought, and if you saw them piled up and recycled, no one else in the house really drinks, these sodas. And my parents always complain about the fact that I'm going to have to go on dialysis, and that's something that, you know, it's a bitch. I mean, more so than diabetes, which is another health risk. But I actually read an article on how, somebody drank like large amounts of iced tea every day, and basically they fucked their health. And that goes into the category of things that I could talk about in later videos. But like maybe like 15 minutes ago, I ended one topic, and I can sort of go off on like 3 different tangents right now. But I was talking about the production value of this play I saw. The first thing, I'll just put it out there. I remember I watched this movie Ed Wood, and I never heard of Ed Wood before. I never heard of his movies such as Plan 9 from Outer Space, Glenda Glenda, or anything else that was featured in Tim Burton's version of his biopic. I know there were certain things that he left out, like with how he kind of ventured into pornography after his films. It's like not to give these videos as an example, but there's a possibility, and I'm sure there's a couple of people who can fit on YouTube who fit in this category, who the best thing I can sort of relate it to, what I was trying to go into, is that the value of this video right here is it could probably be shit, much like Ed Wood's videos, and maybe 20-30 years from when he made these Plan 9 movies, it just got a following much like The Room. So yeah, I was talking about things that sort of I guess it may develop a cult following, or just not for the same reasons of Rocky Horror Picture Show, but the point I was trying to drive home is that sometimes something could be so bad that it's funny or humorous, or it gives you a reason to watch it. So yeah, I mentioned Ed Wood, and because sometimes he would have these takes, and someone may clearly fuck up on a take, bumping into something, and he would just leave it in a movie. I never did finish watching Plan 9, so I didn't really see too many of those types of scenes. But to compare it, going back to this play that I saw, the one sort of okay, sometimes when you sit close enough to the stage of the play, then you're gonna witness things that you may not notice if you sit on a mezzanine, because obviously the proximity of where you are, and I remember I was watching this, one of the best things I actually saw on Broadway. It's kind of ironic that I bring this up, because I was going into production value, and I mentioned in an earlier video, if you pay at the very minimum $50 for a Broadway ticket, the one thing, even if you hate the play itself, he was talking about Motown, and he said, I mean, overall it was okay, but he felt that the performances could have been better. But as far as the staging, things of that sorts, people who go to college and major and things of that nature, and just planning the stages. I mean, I've been to a handful of plays where, I mean, one of them I'm not gonna say that Blue Man Group sucks, but I remember after I treated my mom, for either for Christmas or I think it was Christmas, when we went to see Stomp on the Lower East Side. The first thing I took away from it was better than what we saw, and in Boston, which was the Blue Man Group. And it's, I mean, the one improvement I would like make upon it is fucking, I'm already gonna set up the video. If it fucks up, if it fucks up, it fucks up. Perfect example. And I'm not even just gonna hit stop record and re-record. Actually, there was this one, like, I was earlier this I was making a video and I was talking about the one word that you use when you talk about writing for therapy, and then I was trying to get catharsis out, and I know I said it just now, but when I was trying to say it, it didn't, like, register in my mind that I have to stick my tongue out and, like, to properly say that word. And I could think of a name that's sort of like the same way, but I won't go there. But in any case, I know I was talking to Blue Man Group, and if this video, it's at the past the 5-minute mark. If it fucks up, it fucks up. But yeah. So I was saying before, if you're like closer to the stage, yeah, Top Dog Underdog. That was the thing I was talking about. Now this is like, I've seen I haven't seen a lot of plays, but I've seen at least a dozen Broadway productions, and Top Dog Underdog easily fits into the top 10. With that said, I know I talked about the staging. Well, in fact, I'll get into that. I'll get into staging in a minute. But like, being so close to the stage is something normally one privilege I normally don't have on Broadway. I was able to notice that Mos Def, he was doing a play with Jeffrey Wright, and he said, not that it was like a legitimate fuck up, but like, when you're acting, like, he went from like, something he was laughing about to a line which was like, he killed his girlfriend. So it's I mean there's some, like, psychopathic or sick fucks who would do that. Like, maybe I would say there would be like some mental illness associated with okay, we're sticking with acting, but I'm not an actor, and I'm not trying to like criticize the acting of Mos Def. In fact, I know he was in the one movie he was in that, not to say that his acting stood out, because I did also see Be Calm Rewind, which I didn't care for as much, but there was this one movie, Bamboozled, and he didn't have a big role in it, but at the same time, like, I respected him as an actor as opposed to watching 50 Cent in his acting debut of his own movie, Get Rich or Die Trying. Not his own movie, but a movie based on his own life story, or loosely based, getting shot. I know they were supposed to take the 8 Mile approach and apply it to, even though he lives in Queens, it was like, it was shot in the Bronx. But yeah, the staging, there wasn't too much staging. The only thing I could tell you, I don't know if I read it, but it used to be like an off-Broadway play. In fact, I do know that Jeffrey Wright did do this play alongside Don Cheadle, and the play got picked up again for Broadway, and for whatever reason Don Cheadle like didn't want to reprise his role, so that's when they tapped Mos Def. I know I just went into like maybe if you're doing like Broadway shows, there's times where, like Rosie O'Donnell talked about, she would do shows in Greece, and she would like intentionally like switch up the dialogue and throw off some of her co-stars in that play. But I can get into now that I've actually saw like the movie Grease, that I'm more willing to watch the Broadway show or production as opposed to not really. I felt the same way about Rocky Horror. With Rocky Horror, I actually saw the play for the first time, and not to say when I compare Rocky Horror Picture Show at Purchase College. Now, we're not even talking about the Performing Arts Center as opposed to the Broadway production at your college and their equivalent in the Performing Arts Center. Actually, I mean, just talking about Rocky Horror, I actually just, I used to go to Blockbuster Video, and I used to see the cover to this, movie, or I think it was a play initially, then it got made into a movie, and that was something I wasn't exposed to. It was like the same feelings that I got going to Greenwich Village for the first time, and I know I said I wasn't going to stop the video, but I'm hoping in the next video I could sort of rewind and sort of do things a little backwards, as far as I'm probably going to be unsuccessful, but at the very least I'm going to try. And with that, I'm going to start in a second.